Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 928 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Pyles, joined today by the regular crew plus one. We got JD Rader, Ben Askren, and a man who's been making content for FloWrestling longer than me, longer than any of us, Greg Warren, stand-up comedian, All-American Missouri. Greg, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Oh, it's great to be on here, guys. Good to see you. It's my favorite podcast.
Well, thank you. That certainly means a lot. You're my children's favorite stand-up comedian. This may be the only episode This may be the only episode they listen to now that they know you're going to be on. Well, we got a lot to get to in the sport of wrestling, but I want to start with Greg because you're our guest, and here on FRL we treat our guests extra special.
Appreciate that.
We don't have.
I almost thought JD was wearing a Mizzou hat in honor of Greg's appearance.
Yeah, man.
Almost same colors, but no. This is Mr. Kozak's muffler shop.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they're big donors. They've donated dozens of hats, some shirts.
How many mufflers though? How many mufflers did they donate?
Those are forthcoming.
I'll say though, with the amount
you got to
of
get
times
a serious NIL deal to get actual mufflers. I think.
That's right. And if they ever decide to open up a shop here in Austin, with the amount of times we wear the t-shirt and hats he gave us, they're gonna do some good business.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Actually, thinking about that, you know what? My Mizzou team might have had some illegal NIL deals because I don't know if you remember this, Greg, but there was a gentleman named Clint Freeman, and his dad. He had this awesome body shop, and they had this slogan. Round man with the square deal, and everyone wanted that T-shirt. So his dad bought everyone those T-shirts. So that might have been the first NIL deal, actually.
Wow.
Really?
Round man with the square deal.
I think I remember. I mean, Brian, this was before NIL, but I remember when I would go do a week at the comedy club in Columbia, I'd of course go up and talk to the team or whatever. But I was like, "Hey, Brian, I can get all the guys into the show if you want." And he's like, "No, we can't do that, man. You have to charge them like."
Coach Smith is so by the rules.
Oh yeah, man, yeah.
It was almost annoying sometimes. Straight by the book.
Yes, man. Yeah, you guys all had to pay to come see me.
Dang. But you got the shirts for free. Is the 2007 trophy now in jeopardy, Ben, because of your self-snitching?
My self-snitching on this round man with the square deal T-shirts. There's definitely a possibility. You know what? Actually, deja vu where Greg would perform, and I can't say this is a Greg thing. I got my fake ID stolen.
You had a fake ID?
When you say stolen, do you mean the bouncer took your fake ID?
Yeah, that's crap.
No, that's not stolen, man. Like
that's stolen. It was mine. I had it.
I don't think you understand.
Stealing.
One of you was breaking the law, and it was not the bouncer, Ben.
You know what's so annoying? I didn't even drink or anything anyways, and I tried using it, and it was a Minnesota ID because someone had stolen it from me, for me, many years ago when I was on a recruiting trip. I don't recall where I was, but someone stole someone else's Minnesota ID that kind of had curly hair, And then the bouncer goes, "What's the capital of Minnesota?" And I said, "Minneapolis." And he's like, "My ID." I'm like, "You son of a gun."
Because you didn't know the state capital? Shame on you.
But I actually think I was right. Is it St. Paul or is it Minneapolis?
It's St. Paul.
It's Minneapolis.
It's not that important.
It's St. Paul.
That's getting pretty. Yeah. Was it doing? Yeah. Who was the first governor of Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah, it's St. Paul. And I said Minneapolis.
I don't think he was the first, but he was in there.
Yeah. The first of all our memories, I believe. All right. So, Greg, what's new with you? You got a new special out. We've watched it. It's absolutely hilarious. What are you up to these days?
Just going out and doing shows. I got back from Key West late last night doing shows, and I'm heading to Massachusetts here in a couple days. But yeah, mostly promoting this special. It's doing well. It's called The Salesman. It's on YouTube. It's free, and it's off to a really good start. And wrestling people have been extremely supportive of me. So I appreciate everybody. If anybody hasn't watched, check it out. I think you'll like it. It's pretty funny. Most people like it. I got one I got one email from a woman, and it said, "You are despicable."
Wow.
Yeah. Now, guys, in my experience, those emails, when they start like that, they usually don't take a turn for the good. Like usually, it's going to be bad. I had a bit in there about nurse practitioners. I was making fun of nurse practitioners in my act. Yeah, it was pretty reasonable, I thought. Most people, there were nurses at the show that we taped, and they liked it. But she said, I've been a fan for several years, and I watched your special, and I laughed until we got to the part about nurse practitioners, and I'm a nurse practitioner, and I will never watch you again. You shouldn't make fun of those people. They work hard, and I'm going to tell all my friends never to watch you again. And I felt bad, so I wrote her back. I said, hey, I don't want anybody to feel bad when they watch my comedy. I'm sorry, but next time, could you have a doctor send me an email? Because I don't
roasted.
I don't really trust nurse practitioners. Yeah,
I thought it would be someone with a nut allergy because there's a lot of peanut butter content.
It's Christian. Right now, some people are saying it's one of the top 3 peanut butter based stand-up comedy specials of 2023.
Wow. That's some good buzz. That's a lot of good buzz, Greg.
Amy went and saw you live. I don't recall where I was when you were in Milwaukee. And she was very impressed that you could talk about peanut butter for so long. She's like, I never had any idea anyone could talk about peanut butter for that long. And it would actually be entertaining and funny. And then sure enough, I listened and I laughed the whole time as well.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I sold Jif.
So can I ask you, years. Is this a bit or is this real? You actually did sell Jif.
I work for Procter & Gamble, man.
This is real? Are you messing with me?
That would be pretty hard to make all that stuff. I sold Jif for 10 years. That was my first job out of college. It's how I met Coach Smith. They sent me down to recruit. They sent me down to recruit for Procter & Gamble, and my job was to recruit the athletic department. To try to hire new salespeople. Wow. So I met Brian that way. Yeah.
But you didn't try to hire Ben. You didn't think he was qualified to sell peanut butter. That's what I'm reading into this.
Yeah, listen, man, there were some things we really liked about Ben. There were some things there were red flags. We didn't think he was a company man. We were hard in on Max though. We really wanted Max at the Procter & Gamble.
Max would have killed it on the peanut butter sale.
No, I think by the time those guys got there, I was already doing stand-up comedy,
of course,
full time. Yeah.
So, Greg, my first memory of being aware of your comedy was the Red Alert. Was Wes Wesley Red Alert? Right there. He knows it's still
Greg.
No space.
No, I don't know if Greg knows this. Greg, do you know that you may have started a trend
in wrestling?
Yes, the seal out position here or a single seal is it wasn't a thing many years ago, and now it's really became a thing. It's either you or Mavlut Batirov. One of you two was the first person to bring awareness of how important it is to bring your elbow in certain positions. But now it's we use it all the time, and I'm like, oh my god, Greg was doing this Red Alert bit, and it actually became a thing.
Well, I mean, I gotta give it up to that's Coach Roper, man. That's not me. That's Wes Roper, not Lee Roper. My wrestling coach, Wes Roper, he did make us do Red Alert. We had a drill. We had to go.
Wait, he yelled Red Alert.
He yelled Red Alert. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
That's where that came from, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was something about the bottom. He'd go Red Alert, and Chip Bunner in the back would go. That's not a fake alarm. Roper was awesome, man. He was tough. I was okay. I was pretty good in college, not like a lot of the guys on the show, but my freshman year I had a rough start. We wrestled Northern Iowa, and it was at Northern Iowa in the West Gym, and I cut my weight wrong. I was new, and I just I was on the bottom in the third period, and I just ran out of gas. I just could not get off the bottom, and I got hit for stalling. I know they hit me. It was stalling, warning, 1, 1, 2.
What in one period?
Oh boy!
Oh god!
Oh boy!
And then the referee started making fun of me. That's when you know the referee literally he started pounding on the mat and he goes, "Are you okay down there, son?" I swear to God he did, Ben. I swear to God he did.
I want video of this.
And then you know that place. Did you ever wrestle in the West Gym? Like they're all piled up. Yeah. This guy's killing. He's killing. I'm a comedian. I've never killed as hard as this guy. These people in the crowd are just laughing at like it's the greatest show they've ever seen. And Roper never let me forget that. I mean, if I had one bad practice, Warren, that reminds me of when you laid down at Northern Iowa. And then like, Coach, my back is really hurt. I don't know if I can run the stairs today. Warren, get on the stairs. You laid down at Northern Iowa. Like, even if I had a good practice, it'd be like, Warren, you got after it today. Good job. Bunner, you sucked. You remind me of when Warren laid down at Northern Iowa. Like, and he always said remind, like it reminded him, like he brought it up every 3 days. I don't think he needed to be reminded of it. I think every morning his alarm clock went off and he was like, well, I better not lay in this bed like Warren did on that mat in Northern Iowa.
Man.
Wes, you want pancakes today? I got to look at him laying on that plate like they're Warren at Northern Iowa.
Oh, my God. I have one. Coach Smith had one. I'm worried because I'm going to bring this guy's name up because it's going to be part of what Coach Smith said. So hopefully this guy isn't too mad at me, but we had this one teammate. Last name was Wall. And one day he was laying on bottom so much in practice. And Coach Smith said, damn it, if you don't get up, I'm going to start calling you Floor, not Wall. And we said that to him like every 2 days for the next 5 years.
That's a good zinger from Coach.
I think that's a really good one. I think that, by the way, Brian Smith, sneaky funny guy. I got to say, the movie Stall Camp, I thought Brian should have got nominated for a Best Supporting Actor.
He did stand out. I thought I showed my kids that recently. He was really good.
Yeah, he was. There's that thing, though. I don't know if it's the same. Yeah, I think it is the same now. That seems to be like one of the two biggest adjustments from high school to college. Not the high school kids like Ben has, like that are all-stars. Yeah. But I'm saying like the normal high school kid, when you go to college, getting off the bottom is this monumental hurdle, and then cutting off leg attacks is the other one. Like those two things were a giant change, and I just couldn't get off the bottom. And it was like a 3-week period. Roper was like, okay, we're going to make Warren getting off the bottom a project. And I just had to, when you do top, bottom, out or whatever, I would be like, I'd just get ridden out. And then I'd be like, well, it's my turn to be on top. Back down, Warren, back down. I was just on the bottom for 3 weeks. And then somehow I figured out how to get out. I don't really.
So it worked. Roper's wizardry worked.
It did work, except for that one thing he would always say. He said, "If I held you underwater," he would say this, like he'd go, "If you were drowning and I held you out of underwater, you'd figure a way to get out." And I remember just being depressed and being like, I don't know if I would, man. I think I might just drown. I might die. This is depressing. Yeah, this is horrible.
I think one of the big problems, not to make this serious, but like I think a huge issue with bottom wrestling is like coaches, especially also is like just correlated it with effort so strongly when it is just like largely a technical issue. Ben could correct me if I'm wrong here, but
I mean there is a part that's there's a part that's mentality, because you have to deal with the rejection of getting put back on bottom again, right? Like you try to get up and you get returned, you try to get up and you get returned, and you keep going, right? Yeah. And so some people are like, F it. I already tried to get up 5 times. I'm done. I'm not trying anymore. It's too hard.
Yeah, it is. It seems almost like pointless or silly after like you get run out of bounds 5 times.
Yeah, for real. But then there is the thing where it's like, if for example, you can't seal out right now, you can't red alert yourself. Red alert. In college wrestling, if you can't red alert and seal out when you get defeated and they just get rear standing, you're probably going to get returned every single time. So like, I think there's both. I don't think it's one or the other.
I think it's effort, like Christian was saying, but I think it's also like timed effort. It's not like just go spastic and crazy. It's like learn when to sort of relax just a little bit, or not freak out. I think is part of it.
I agree.
Speaking of Red Alert, Greg, we used to have a bit in high school on the wrestling team where, you'd be carrying your books under your arm in between classes, and somebody from down the hallway would yell Red Alert, and you would have to drop your books.
No way, really?
And seal off, yeah.
That's your legacy, Greg.
But listen, you'd be really talented if you could hold your books and seal off. I can hold the books, JD, and seal off. You're not getting inside these things here. That's what you need to, like, that's double points right there.
But it's way funnier when the books hit the floor.
Dedicated to the game.
Oh, yeah. You guys actually did that, JD?
Oh, yeah.
I think then my career is complete. I don't have to do anything. That, I remember when we first shot that thing, that was Ben. I was up visiting the team. I was doing a show in town, and Ben was up there, and he's like, hey, there's this thing called FloWrestling. He just pulls out a camera and goes, hey, man, just do something funny. And I was like, I just thought it, back then the internet, I thought he was like, yeah, some idiot's YouTube channel or whatever. And then I looked and it's got like 1 billion views. And then it was like my first comedy album on Comedy Central Records. I was doing something in Austin, and I called up Joe Williamson.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I try this time, since you guys can I actually do some stuff? So I did some jokes, and then I was like, I got this dumb idea for a character who wears his headgear all over, and I made up the name on the spot, like, because Wes Roper was the coach, and I called him Wesley or something. And then me and Bader and Joe went and bought we went to Academy Sports, which this is a while back. There wasn't a lot of wrestling in Texas at the time, so they had one headgear in the whole store from 1954, and we bought it, and then we went downtown in Austin and just started doing dumb stuff. And you just reminded me of that scene where I was holding the pizza, I think, and Bader yelled Red Alert, and I dropped the pizza in downtown Austin. And and I was wrestling homeless guys in downtown Austin.
Yeah, you definitely wrestled a homeless person.
Dang. That would be a bigger challenge these days.
Man, the guy, he had good underhooks. He was pretty good.
Yeah, most of them are trained. Most of them at least wrestled 2 years in high school.
Yeah,
but the best line, Greg, was when then you did a follow up at NCAAs, and I believe you said to Bruce Baumgartner something like, "We can't all be champions," or I don't remember the exact line, but I remember the sentiment of the line.
Yeah, well, I remember a couple of things about that. It was when Max won his championship. It was in Omaha. Yep. And it was Ben, because he knows everybody, was just taking me around to shoot all this stuff with all these wrestling celebs. So we shot one with Alger, and he literally tried to kill me. He tried to take me down. We shot one with Bruce Baumgartner. We did say, well, we can't all be champions. But my favorite was Mark Schultz. So Ben goes up to Mark Schultz. He's like, hey, we're shooting this thing, man. And Mark's like, yeah, sure. So I start talking to Schultz, and then we start wrestling a little bit, and I got the headgear on. And then I walk away after we shoot it, and Schultz goes up to Ben. He's like, yeah, man, that guy, he kind of knew what he was doing a little bit. And Ben's like, no, man, he wrestled in college. He's doing a character. Schultz honestly thought I was like a Make-A-Wish kid or something that they were. He thought that I was some guy that they were just bringing around to do nice stuff with people. He was really cool about it. Yeah.
Greg was an All-American at Missouri. People forget. But Mark Schultz found out.
That's right, man.
Maybe he learned the hard way. Who's to say?
Yeah. I was an All-American in a pretty famous bracket there. The winner was Pat Smith, the first 4-time national champ. Runner-up, Tom Ryan.
Oh, wow. That year.
Yeah,
I didn't know this, actually.
And the guy that I beat in the blood round, and he was only a freshman. So if he had a chance to avenge that loss, he'd kill me. And he still, every time I see him, he wants to avenge that loss. Sean Burnett was the guy. Sean Burnett was the guy.
Sean Burnett, take that. You're never getting it back ever.
Yeah, because Burnett was like the 5th seed or something. I was a senior. He was a freshman. I got him on the backside. And he tells me that he uses that match to talk to his wrestlers all the time. He's like, listen, man, you're going to be real confident. And then some idiot future comedian out of nowhere could sneak up on you and get you.
How'd you get him?
It was like a grinded out match. I had, I think I got a double leg early, and I was pretty good on top. So it was like a 3-2 match or something like that. I got him with a double leg early, I think. But it was, I hope nobody has a video because it was in terrible form. And I had a bad stance. I was always overextended, but yeah.
Somehow the blood round, you gotta do what you gotta do. I love that. Yeah. I actually didn't know that you beat Sean Burnett in the blood round. I love it.
Yeah, and this is again a guy who went on to be a much better wrestler than I ever dreamed of being. But I got him, man. I got him that one time, and I'll never get on the mat with him again. He wants to have a rematch, and I won't do it.
Yeah. No, he had his chance. You had your shot.
That's right, Coach. Man. That's right. Yeah.
The time and date was set, and we both showed up, and that's just that.
I know how he feels though, because there's this guy when I was like a fresh. There's a guy I think when I was a freshman that pinned me or something when he was a senior in high school. And when I'm out, this guy he wasn't that good of a wrestler, but I remember like later in life being out at the bars or something. And I went on to be pretty good. And he was like, yeah, man, I pinned you. I'm like, yeah, I know, man. I was a freshman. Why do we got to talk about that?
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't know Chip Bunner, he's not actually a rival of yours. He was a teammate all this time.
He was my teammate. Yeah.
I thought he thwarted you in the Afton Quadrangular, but that's not so.
Well, we try to base some of the characters on real people. Yeah, Chip Bunner was a real. There's a famous comedian now. Do you guys know who Nikki Glazer is?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah, she's a pretty big deal. She's huge, and she's in one of those Wes Wesley videos. She was just like right out of college, starting stand up, and it was like Wes went on a date with Nikki Glazer. And it's like the second Wes Wesley video.
Is this when you order cauliflower? Or she orders cauliflower?
Yeah, she orders cauliflower. I get upset about it. And then I'm like real awkward. And like there's an awkward silence. And I just pull out a picture of Chip Bunner and show it to her. She's really famous now, man. She has a show on HBO and all that stuff.
Dang. Nice. That's cool.
Too bad awesome. Wes Wesley didn't get a second date.
No, neither did Greg Warren.
Okay. Well, let's get to some wrestling news. Couple things happened. We got World Team Trials this week, of course. We'll be headed. I'll be headed. You're not going.
Holding it down.
You're holding it down.
Loser.
Here. Oh, programming note. We're doing the show Wednesday, not Thursday, because we're flying Thursday. Some of us.
I'm flying. Bitcoin conference, baby. Let's go.
Now, isn't it kind of ironic that Bitcoin doesn't do it like an online type of conference? Like, kind of be a little more on brand.
That's interesting. I'm gonna suggest that. I'm gonna suggest that to him.
Kind of fraudulent conference, perhaps. Not a fraudulent conference. The Big Ten, where Austin Gomez wrestled. He will know more. It sounded like immediately after NCAA, it didn't sound like it was the case that he was going to come back for the Badgers. But last week, he news dumped us, as often happens, and he will not be back next year. I think this actually makes a lot of sense.
Why do you think so? Because you think it was the Pan Ams and he didn't do well and he wanted to qualify the weight for the Olympics or something?
Well, yeah, I do think it is freestyle related because Austin, yes, can do that. He's going to be wrestling, representing Mexico. He obviously has a gap to make up. He got teched by, I think, Colombia. And he's probably like, this is the window to make the Olympic team and to qualify the weight. So if you get into the right draw, the right side of the bracket, you win, you make the finals, and you're an Olympic qualifier. So he'll have a couple cracks, and I think probably just wants to focus. I know I talked with his parents before Big Ten or at the Big Ten tournament. They're like, we want him to move on to freestyle was basically what was said. Like they're ready for him. his health is such a concern. Like, just focus on freestyle, wrestle then, and don't do the college thing again. So
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know where he plans to train. I would assume Wisconsin, but maybe not.
No idea.
I could see him going back to Illinois as well.
So he'll have Pan Am's next year, and then probably a couple of last chance qualifier type events, and that will be, I guess, the Worlds also, right?
Worlds. He can go to Worlds. If he's top 5 at Worlds, he qualifies for the Olympics. If he Pan Am, so I guess he'll have 2 cracks, really, right?
Well, and there's a last chance also.
Last chance. That one's so tough. He better do it at Pan Am's.
Yeah, that was way harder.
Last chance is savage.
Also with Pan Am's, if one or multiple of the guys are already qualified, they don't get to wrestle at the Pan Am's, correct? I believe that's the case.
Yeah, that sounds right. Greg's our rules expert here. If he doesn't know, none of us do. What you say goes here, Greg.
What was your question, Ben?
Meanwhile,
I said the Olympic bracket is going to have 16 qualifiers, so you can't have one person taking up multiple spots because then you don't have 16 people, right?
Right.
So if someone takes top 5 at World from the Pan Am's, I believe they don't get to wrestle in that weight class for the Pan Am qualifier.
Oh.
So that could pull a few people out. Like if Yanni qualifies, for example, he's pulled out. If the Cuban qualifies, he's pulled out.
No, that's not the case.
I don't think so.
No. That is the case, guys. Because otherwise, how are you going to get to 16?
Well, remember in 2020, our entire Team USA wrestled in Canada.
There was a Pan Am qualifier and there was a Pan Am Games that year. It was like 2 of them. Remember?
Man, I don't honestly.
The Pan Am Games is the Pan Am qualifier. No.
What?
There's the Pan Am Championships, which happens every year, and then there's the Pan Am Games. The Pan Am Games is the qualifier.
Jason Bryant, tell these dudes I'm right. I think I know you're in the chat somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or Kozak.
I understand what you're saying, Ben. I agree, but then I can't recall a time. I'm just trying to remember a time where only a couple guys went, but you're saying it happened. So.
Well, I think there was I want to say last time there was multiple, and it was almost like back-to-back weekends or something weird like that. And in certain cases, the person who was there at an unqualified weight wrestled in both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that definitely wasn't the case for Zane.
No.
Years ago, but everybody wrestled at the Pan American Games.
Yeah, where was the time Zane got beat by Destrabas? What?
That was Canada.
Yeah. I feel like we were all there. Who's to say? And as Chael Sonnen would famously say, the thing that's so tough about it is we'll never know. We'll literally go to our graves wondering. That is the hard part.
I mean, well, either way, but there does have to be 16 qualifiers, so you can't not have a qualifier taking the spots. So even if the winning, the person who's already qualified does participate, then you would take the next 2 placers after that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Which would then be weird because of the way the repechage works. So I think I'm
very
correct.
weird.
March 2024, there's the Pan Am Championships, and then 1 week later, the Pan Am Games Olympic qualifier.
So yeah, that's over. So this is over.
That's what I was saying.
Well, hold on. That's not. You didn't let me say what I was saying. So you don't know what I was saying. I was saying Austin would not do this date because that's the NCAA championship. So if you have Olympic aspirations, it does not make sense for you to.
So that's why.
So that makes a lot of sense. We will miss Austin, but we wish him well.
Man, that guy was great. Yeah, what a cool season.
Seriously. He was a lot of fun. He retired.
Hey guys,
I
want to get back to wrestling here in a second, but I do have something that I love you guys, and this is my favorite podcast. I've listened to every episode, but I've tolerated some bullying. You guys have been real down on the city of St. Louis for a while, and especially our pizza. And
oh hell no, you're not gonna tell me.
Hold on a second, Ben. Hold on a second,
you, Greg.
No, we'll fight, man. We'll fight. That's how much how passionate I am about this. Okay, first of all, you guys, you only say emos. That's the only thing you say is emos. Okay, emos does not equal St. Louis style pizza. Emos is one chain. And in my opinion, it's not the best chain by a long shot. When you guys come back here, my friend Ray Bacardi, his dad Joe Bacardi, has a St. Louis style pizza restaurant. It's outstanding. At least give it a fair shake. You guys are out there saying some stuff that's It's wrong. I'm sorry.
You know what?
So wait, what's Mr. Bacardi's restaurant called?
Joe Bacardi's.
Joe Bacardi's. Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 locations. You guys, Emo's is okay, but it's.
See, this is what you shouldn't have said that, Greg. I was with you. And you know what? I'll be a big man, the bigger man. Maybe not the bigger man, but I'm man enough to attempt pizza. I'm that courageous. I will try Joe Bacardi's pizza with an open mind, clean slate. I'll go there. I'll try it, and I will give an honest account. And if I like it, I will say I like this.
And actually, I know the Emo's location. You guys, it's the one downtown. It's the one by the Enterprise Center where the wrestling championships are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their best store. It's just not their best one, man. There's some inconsistencies there. I've talked to them, but we're gonna fix this, okay? And if you guys eat Joe Bacardi's pizza, you're not gonna say these horrible things. And you guys, you bled into just saying horrible things about the city in general. It's not right.
We kind of did tee off on St. Louis.
You did.
They deserved it.
No, we didn't. We've gotten beat up a lot lately, okay? Ever since Ferguson, which was a very small part of the city, and it was blown out of proportion by CNN, everybody thinks it's a war zone, and now they think it's a war zone and has horrible pizza. And you guys are responsible for this.
Well, you know what I'll say? It is partially the city of St. Louis that let Emo's run away and become the brand carrier of their pizza. Because as far as I'm concerned, Emo's is St. Louis pizza. They've branded themselves as such. So,
yeah,
you know what?
Fine. That's like saying Bluebell is the only ice cream in Texas or whatever.
Well, you ask around, it might be.
Oh yeah, I love trolling those Texas people. When I lived in Texas, that's where I first started selling peanut butter. Was in Houston. Yeah.
Dang.
So I know Texas, and I loved getting those guys worked up. I'd be like, well, Bluebell is just not that good, guys. It's just it's not very good, and it's small. It's not as big as Ben and Jerry's. Therefore, it's not as good.
Not as good. Owned. No, St. Louis. Okay, fine. You know what? Let's be nicer to St. Louis.
No, I don't want your charity.
Toasted ravioli.
I don't want your charity. Yeah, toasted ravioli, Ben. You've never mentioned that once on this show. You've never stuck up for St. Louis. You spent a lot of time in the state of Missouri.
I mean, Greg, I don't want you to have a conniption here and leave the show, but I would lean more towards Kansas City than I would St. Louis. I don't want you to get too mad.
Maybe because you married a girl from Kansas City?
Wow. And it's just a better city.
Fine, it's not a better
We got NCAAs there next year, and we'll show everyone.
I'm going, man. I'll be there. I don't miss them. You know?
It's going to be awesome. Next year, I'm so excited, actually, for Kansas City 2024, because it's going to have the Sprint Center, and then there's the Power Light right there, and there's hotels, and everyone can walk, and everyone's going to have a great time. It's going to be like the best NCAAs in a long while.
Oh, yeah, I'm going big for this one. Missouri's going to have a good team, too, man. A real good team.
We would have had a chance to win if this damn NIL thing and Penn State just didn't get to recruit every single person.
I don't know
we're not
about
out
that.
of it yet, man.
What do you mean you don't know about that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, where are y'all going to get major points?
What? Do you know this guy named Keegan O'Toole?
I know that guy. There's
Rocky
25.
Elam's going to do really well.
Yep. He could win.
Jack Elam,
but
he's good.
Brock Mahler, man.
Hayden Mako, All-American. Brock Mahler, All-American.
Yeah. We'll see.
Go.
I think they could trophy for sure, but I don't. If they got second, I would be a little.
They're gonna trophy.
Oh, write it down.
Get it right. Actually, the kid who's gonna step in at 57, he's pretty damn good. He got hurt. He got the first takedown on Joe Seeley, and then got hurt at.
Is that Cam?
Cam Steed.
Cam Steed. He had an impressive scuffle also.
Real good. He got banged up there too, I think.
Yeah. Well, 184, we kind of got to revolve. Clayton Whiting might hop in there, but Colton Hawks has been solid also. Pretty damn good lineup. Certain has shown flashes. Edmund shown flashes.
Josh Edmund at the right weight class could be real tough.
Yeah.
That guy just shoots a double leg whenever he feels like it and takes people down. I don't know how you lose when that happens.
He is good.
Greg, Pyles is a notorious Mizzou hater. I'm just warning you.
I am the voice of accuracy about the Missouri Tigers every step of the way.
Christian, you made the damn spreadsheet like 2 weeks ago. They're literally the fourth best program in the last decade.
I'm right every single year about them.
He's going to attribute it to like bad seating at the NCAA tournament, or what he calls Tiger-style seating. It's
they use the Tiger-style seating index. I didn't make it up. That's what it's called. It's called
They're
the Tiger-style seating.
Literally the fourth best team in the last decade, and you just crap on them all the time.
I do not. No, I just bring balance to your wild takes.
Yeah, that's almost as bad as the shots that he's taken at the city of St. Louis is at the seeds that the Tigers earned.
All of Missouri, the whole state.
Man, I love. You know what?
We should let them cover the NCAAs next year. We should just kick them out of Missouri.
Try and stop me.
Don't cross the border.
Try and stop me. I'll see you in the airport. I hear it's a nice one.
Kansas City's actually got a new airport. I've never been there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, their old airport was a dump.
They don't have a new airport, do they?
I'm almost certain they do. Yeah.
No, I'm almost certain they don't.
All right, let's look.
That last one was dog shit where it was like a bunch of half circles.
It's the worst airport in the world. Yeah. Your city.
What?
You just swore.
Dang it. That's how strongly I feel about the Kansas City airport.
Straight to jail.
Yes, new airport was completed in 2023, replacing the old one. The old airport was from 1972. Take that, guys.
That's great news.
Great news.
Absolutely.
This is huge. This changes everything I thought about NCAAs in Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks nice. Looks like a nice place. I want to go there.
Okay. And you will. We'll fly in there. Okay, want to talk a little trials? Any trials weights stick out to you, Greg? We got 61, 92. We haven't talked about Zahid going 92. I don't think. Somehow that hasn't come up yet.
No, we brought it up one time.
Okay. See, I don't ever remember what was FRL and what was just the rest of my life, where I just talk about wrestling with these guys. So we did talk about.
I was hoping a few more 61s a few more 57s would pop up to 61, just because why not?
Suriano did not register.
I knew, that did not.
Which we speculated, but
yeah, I did not think he would.
Zahid is he's small for 86, isn't he?
In my opinion, but some people think he's good size for it. I don't, but I think
even that 92, he's. I would pick him. Yeah, I'm picking him.
Honestly, I might. If we do picks on Wednesday, I might pick him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think so. There's some guys I think he matches up pretty well with. Like, I think Nate Jackson is someone he matches up reasonably well with, because I think he'll have he'll be able to match the speed and the movement of Nate. And I think he's got incredible skill on top of it. I think someone like Colin Moore could be tough. I think even Eric Schultz.
Nah, Seed's going to get him. So this is only a 6-man bracket, huh? No, 7.
Yeah, it'll be
so is Zahid getting number 1?
Colin Moore, probably.
Colin
Moore was in Final X and was second at the weight, although not last year, but he was second at the Open.
Yeah.
But they'll probably hit in the final. So that's really the matchup. How does Zahid match up against Colin Moore, who is big for the weight?
Yeah.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah.
This is where the analysis comes.
No, you're right. I mean, Zahid is small for the weight, and I don't know. Yeah, I think I could see Zahid winning for sure. I mean, yeah, I'll probably pick him, but Colin Moore, Nate Jackson both can get it done as well.
It could be Nate Jackson ahead of Colin in the seeds. They both only lost to Mike Mock at the.
And Nate was also in Final X at this weight.
Jaden.
And took a match from Jaden. I don't know if that'll factor. Yeah. He could be. So
Nate's probably the one.
You think?
Probably.
Well, why not?
You made Final X at the weight last year. You beat Jaden Cox while Colin was up at 97. And now you come back and you only lost to the same person that Colin also lost to?
Why would he be seated ahead of Colin?
Because he made Final X at the weight last year, and they both only lost to the same person.
Yeah. So that to me says it's a coin flip. I don't know who they'll go with. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Colin would be my pick right now to make. Although he was my pick.
His elbow is worrisome to me. It was clearly affecting him in the finals at the U.S. Open.
That's a good point. Good point. I thought he still looked pretty good. at the Open. I was surprised. I was surprised he lost to Mike Mock, and which maybe should be reason not to pick him, but I still think he's probably the guy. But he could just come out and just stunt on everyone, and it'd be crazy if he makes the team here.
It would. It is really disappointing that they can't take Jaden or Kyle after. You know the rule I want. I want those guys to be able to wrestle off at the non-Olympic weight.
Nah. Get it out.
Nah.
You know how I feel.
Honestly, I'll let Aaron Brooks bump up if he doesn't beat David Taylor.
Yeah.
See if he can get it done.
Just have the eternal wrestle offs for this weight. Maybe they can determine the team before the World Championships.
You said.
I mean, I would watch every wrestle off.
Damn straight.
Of course. Okay. 61 is also interesting. I had the worst dream last night. You ever have dreams and then you don't really realize you had them? I was just driving to work. I was like, wait, that was a dream. I had this dream.
I don't dream.
Wow. Flex. JD
really?
No, that's a good sign though, man.
No.
That means you probably. I heard something about
I
if
dream. I just never.
You dream a lot, you're gonna get dementia, and I dream all the time. Yeah,
no, it's opposite. No, that's opposite. If you're not getting into such a deep sleep that you're hitting REM, then that's bad for your brain, not good.
Yeah, but that's when you dream during REM.
Yeah, you want to get in REM and you want to have dreams. So he's screwed.
He's demented.
He's gonna be demented.
He's pre-demented. He's a dementor.
Yeah.
So 61. I had this back to my terrible dream that I didn't wake up and realize was a dream. The NCAAs were happening, but they were in a gym that I believe was Gallagher Iba Arena, and I'm sitting there just watching it. And Dayton is wrestling Mikhail McGee, which is not an option.
What?
For the upcoming NCAAs. It is a dream. And Soriano's on the mat wrestling like
what? He's the ref. He's the guest referee for the match.
he's wrestling on an adjacent mat. And
the other semi. Yeah.
And then you've got it's like 8 mats going. It's like a high school setup, but for whatever reason, I know it's NCAAs and we're in Gallagher Iba Arena. And then sitting right in front of Dayton's mat is Spencer and his mom. And then Dayton is wrestling McGee, and McGee gets him in like a chin and arm or I forget what you call it, Ben. The honey badger. Honey badger. And he destroys Dayton's shoulder, and Dayton's just writhing in pain, and he's like done.
You can't hurt your shoulder in that position.
I know.
This dream is crap.
It's a dream. I'm demented. But somehow in that position, he rips his shoulder out, and then like everyone's all sad, and he's sad, and Spencer's sad, and I'm walking around. I'm like, man, this is all just terrible. It's like everyone's just sitting there sad, and I was like, this is the worst NCAA tournament ever. And then I don't know what happened. The dream sort of ended, but it ended with Dayton getting his shoulder ripped out by Mikhail McGee, and even Spencer was sitting there like upset about it. I don't know why, but yeah, it was a weird dream.
What did Spencer's mom think of it?
She sat there calmly. This was a weird thing too. She was wearing a COVID mask. What does it mean? Do you interpret dreams, Greg? Is that part of your comedian skill set?
No, I don't believe that would be a good idea. I have a very, very narrow skill set, Christian.
Yeah.
So
I'm
glad none of this happened. I've had some horrible dreams about Gallagher Iba, recurring dreams, but
really,
just because I got tortured down there most of the time.
Who'd you wrestle from Oklahoma State?
Pat Smith for one.
Okay. Mike Sheets. Didn't you get tortured by Mike Sheets?
I'm not that old, Ben. I'm not Mike Sheets old, man. Come on. Yeah.
I actually don't know how old Mike Sheets is. I have no idea.
Yeah. No, I wrestled Todd Chesborough quite a bit down there, who's real good. He was a 4-time All-American, took second. Tommy Chesborough's son. Had some bad matches against him. So I wrestled Dayton Fix's dad, I think, one time.
Oh, really?
Did you beat him?
Yeah.
Did you beat Derek?
I did. I did, man. And this is going to sound just awful, but this is the only time, like it was literally he was in on a leg, and I got that last takedown, and I had a butt drag on him, and it was it was a real precarious position. And I didn't do the check the oil, but I think I was not a dirty wrestler at all, but I think I got close where maybe he got nervous. Like, it's a terrible thing, and I'm not proud of it at all. But if I'm honest with myself, like maybe I got close to doing that, and then I would have just to get that takedown. But I just remember being in that butt drag position, and but then Pat Smith, when I wrestled him, it was weird because when you wrestle the Smith, it's like I was getting beat pretty badly, but I wasn't winded or tired or anything because they're just a step ahead of you all the time. It's probably like wrestling Ben. I mean, they were just. So it was. I was off balance all the time, and then he was complaining to the ref the entire match. He's like complaining. I'm like, it's 11-3. What are you complaining about? This is
this is going.
Why are you upset?
Dude, honestly, Greg, I don't mean to, characterize you a certain way, but you opened the door here. We got a comment here from someone named Brian Jackson. He said, my man Greg Warren rode me once, but he cheated.
Jackson, baby.
He cheated and jumped on me and did the bow and arrow.
No, I did. Jackson, again, Jackson, former coach, Division II coach, great wrestler, All-American for NC State. He was one of my best friends in high school. And he was he was a heavyweight. It was like we were screwing around, and I got on top of him, got his arm behind his back, and I was like, this is the only time in the world that I'll have the chance to take it out on Jackson. And I knew as soon as I let him go, he was going to kill me. And I finally let him go, and I sprinted. He chased me all the way out the doors, out into like the lawn, and then he beat me down in the grass. And I think my back is still screwed up because of that. It wasn't worth it.
Dang. Well, Brian, you sound like a nice guy yourself. Jeez.
Yeah, no, it was. He fish hooked me too. Did you guys used to do that like before practice and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think the fish hook went out of style though.
The last good fish hook I saw was Jake Varner, Dustin Kilgore. You remember this one?
Oh, that was a crazy one.
That was great.
He did it in a match?
Oh, yeah. He pinned him.
It's like
a standing fish hook.
Yeah, he's like reaching over. It's like almost like a dresser dump, but with the fish hook, which is, sorry to Coach Dresser, but Varner's is far more effective. Albeit, maybe.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah.
Maybe
illegal. It was legal in that match because he pinned him with it. And Kilgore starts punching him. It's kind of a funny video, in hindsight. I'm sure right at the moment. But yeah, fish hooks have kind of gone out of style. Do you not teach them at AWA, Ben?
No, I haven't. I haven't executed a fish hook in quite a while.
I wouldn't pull it up.
I might need to go fish hook Ozzy.
What's the dirtiest move you teach at AWA?
I don't really teach dirty moves. I mean,
I think
problem. I think if you apply the proper pressure, you can choke people in a lot of wrestling moves. And so maybe some people would say that's dirty, but I think that's just proper application of the move. So I guess maybe that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Ben has this weird take, Greg. You've probably heard it before. He thinks you should just be able to strangle people unconscious if you do it.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
You have said that.
It was an or. There was an or situation. Or you
give up.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
That was not the or. I said, if you really know how to apply pressure right, there's many ways in which you can lock a man's head and arm together and choke them unconscious.
Yes.
And so the fact that people are going to try to ban some of them is incredibly stupid. And so either you should let them choke people out or ban all of them, not ban some of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't recall that being the characters, but that's good. I'll just attribute that to either I was wrong or growth in Ben Askren.
What move? Who got choked out that we were discussing?
Hildebrand.
I don't even remember.
Sarah Hildebrand.
Well, Zahid.
Oh, yeah. That was fine. She should have rolled over.
And Zahid choked out the guy at World Team Trials last year.
Same thing.
Rolled him over.
So there was a rumor when we were kids that, because Dave Schultz was the big hero when we were kids, and there was a rumor that Dave Schultz would just choke guys out, and then he'd like he'd like move him around like this to make the ref think that the guy wasn't choked out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a genius move.
Yeah, these are high school kids making up, it's probably some sort of rumor.
No, something like that happened 3 weeks ago. One of my guys, and I hate it when they roll that direction because it's the significantly inferior direction to roll in freestyle. But he went that way and he choked someone out, and they didn't notice till after the referee called the pin because he was like, I don't think he was like trying to make him move on purpose, but I think he was just kind of like moving around, and so everyone thought the guy was still awake, and then he did wake up really fast after the guy let him go. But
yeah, that's again, I don't think he did it on purpose. Just like first of all, I don't think I did check the oil on Derek Fix, but if I did, it was just close enough where I had to look myself in the mirror after and be like what would you have done it if you could have to win that match? And there's some truths I learned about myself that I'm not proud of.
That's okay. All right. Want to get to a few questions before we go? Show ends in 9 minutes approximately.
Oh, I had one I hated on here. Can I just hate on this one real quick?
Yeah, hate on hater.
Jarrett Morrill on the 3-point takedown. Is it feasible to make it worth 3 points if you attack, but only 2 if you counterattack? No, dumb. Can't do it because I don't want these referees judging which one's offensive, because they're just so much like in the middle there.
Yeah, and also it would undermine your the counter score ability, of which you are so notorious for.
Well, if I force you to my leg and then I attack you with a cradle, then is that an attack or is that a counter? Because I think I'm attacking you.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. Who remembers the couple months where like the go behind takedowns were like didn't
that
count
happen?
And feel it? Yeah, it screwed Gilman one year like at Cadet Worlds.
No, I don't remember this.
No,
what happened?
It wasn't the go behind one. I thought it was the almost takedown.
No, there was a brief moment in time. I don't know. We don't have to get into it, but it was like they were trying it out at like age level stuff, and Thomas hit like a go behind and it didn't count or something weird.
Didn't count.
Yeah, for real. This happened. This was like 20.
That's where I still hate the slip. The slip is like, listen, be a man, take responsibility for your actions. Either you're gonna try something or you're not gonna try something, and you know what the repercussions were. There's a risk reward scenario here, right? Take the risk.
Well,
be about it.
It drives me nuts when you watch a guy get really deep underhooks and like get a guy in a horrible position and just a terrible headlock. It's like, what? It's like, listen, I get it. We got to be creative to find ways to score in Greco, and you got to incentivize it. So let that be Greco's thing.
Freestyle too.
But that's my point, Ben. Is that you got? I think you don't need it in freestyle.
Christian, I think you should be judged on your acting ability on a slip throw. Like if a guy's in deep on underhooks and you throw that thing and then you look with conviction, you look like, man, I almost had that headlock. Then I think you should bring you back up. Okay. But if you're a poor actor, then no points.
Yeah, that would be my strategy against any good wrestler is just try to spam slip throws for 6 minutes and see where I end up.
Man, I think that's the next film that I'm going to do with Marcus is like
the Slip Brothers.
Yeah, the greatest slip throw. Yeah, there's probably some guy the greatest slip throw wrestler in America.
Yeah.
That would be a good film, wouldn't it?
I could see you breaking down some slips.
Yeah, just the guy that really slip throws with conviction. Have you ever scored? No, never. But
never.
I've also never been scored on.
Me either. But
dang.
Yeah,
I want to bring one other thing up, guys. You talked about the movie Vision Quest last week, which changed my life. It's I'm a big fan.
He's on Spark's side.
I'm on Spark's side on this, man. It's an amazing movie. But Ben's teammate Marcus Hayne, who was my partner in Stallings Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there one time to watch some Mizzou camp, and this is when I realized this kid's one of the funniest people. I was a comedian at the time, and I still am, but I was like, I was around some of the funniest people in the country, and I go down there, and Marcus is at wrestling camp, and he's dressed up like the coach in Vision Quest. He's got the singlet on with straps up, and he's got a collared shirt on, and he has a clipboard on it. And on the clipboard it says armbar defense, and he's just walking around wrestling camp like that. And it's like, okay, I love this kid forever, man. This guy's the funniest people I've ever met.
That's hysterical. Yeah, he seems like a very funny guy.
Oh man.
Oh. So yeah, he's Team Vision Quest. It's okay.
I had a few other people come up to me this weekend, Christian, and tell me that they were also Team Vision Quest. And my response was simply, I guess you're cool with sexual assaults then.
Well, listen, there were, so you guys did bring to light some very, very questionable scenes, and
it has not aged well. Shane's like, it's a different time. It's like, what?
What is this? No, you can't just go around grabbing people's junks. What are we?
You guys want to? There's a lot of those '80s movies. Revenge of the Nerds. There's some horrible stuff that happens in that movie. Yeah,
I don't know that one,
dude.
I mean, I don't love it.
I haven't seen it, but Bader was telling me about it. He's like, dude, he was like, dude, it did not hold up well. I don't even know Keith Gothard's perspective, but I know he is just hating ours right now, Ben. I bet he loves Revenge of the Nerds.
I will, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. We should move on.
We got to one question. Oh, when will the proposed rule changes be voted on? I think June 8th is the day.
Big day.
So we will know on June 8th, which is, a couple weeks, right before Final X, which is officially on June 10th. A group of us have been just like holding our breath for the last couple months about the hockey playoffs, which none of us care about.
What?
Because Ben didn't even know this. Final X could have been on a different date altogether had the New Jersey Devils made the Stanley Cup Finals. So we just kind of like watching, and they were down 2-0.
I didn't notice that at all.
I know. Well, no one really did. It was just like we knew and USA knew, and it was like not really publicized. But like if the Devils had made the Stanley Cup Finals, it would have like pushed Final X forward a day. But they lost, so it was a great triumph. And Andrew Spey went to a sports bar to ensure the Devils' demise. So thank Andrew Spey. It was all him.
Hey, there's actually this is not a question, this is a comment, and we didn't know this. Fake Loudon says Loudon was really smart and he graduated early to go to college and become a doctor. So that was why he did not do a state tournament, which is why the match had more meaning.
I don't think he's I disagree. I hope he's not medical. Maybe he's a nurse practitioner at best. That's called a callback, Ben, in the industry.
It was good. You guys mentioned New Jersey. And do you guys remember when you're at weigh-ins, like just all the stupid things that you hear other wrestlers say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is my favorite. It was my first year. It was the Junior Nationals, which used to be in Cedar Falls, I believe, at the Unidome. It wasn't in Fargo when I was in high school. And it was my first year there, and I was nervous, and I was at the weigh-ins, and you're just there with all these other wrestlers from all over the country, and you just assume everybody knows more than you. Ben probably didn't because he's got confidence, but you just like, man, I'm new here. I don't know what's going on. And I hear these two guys from New Jersey talking behind me, and the guy goes, the key to the WrestleBacks is you got to hit your moves.
I mean, spot the lie.
And I was like, in retrospect, that's one of the dumbest, yet also most poignant things that anybody has ever said.
That is so funny.
The key to the WrestleBacks is you got to hit your moves.
I'm going to tell Caleb that next time he's in the WrestleBacks.
Oh
Listen,
man.
You got to hit your moves, man. That's the key.
Yeah, you got to hit your moves. That's the key. You got to hit your moves.
You didn't? Oh, you went 0-2? Didn't hit your moves in the WrestleBacks.
You didn't hit your moves. You got to hit your moves in the WrestleBacks.
Greg, are you going to Final X by chance?
I don't think. When is it?
June 10th.
I think I got a show. It's in Jersey?
Yeah.
Nah, man, if I'm in the city that week, I will. I've been going up to New York a little bit to promote this special. But if I'm in the city, I will go.
What's your favorite city to do comedy in? Or what's the worst? We won't tell.
Well, I mean, Odessa, Texas, I did a show there. It was not good. Yeah.
I can't imagine them suffering fools too lightly.
No, and it's just it's a little bit of a depressive area. They were telling me like Yeah, man. When that movie Friday Night Lights came here, it injected a lot of, energy into the economy. I was like, I think when I bought a chicken sandwich at lunch, that injected a lot of energy into this economy.
Ouch. Poor Odessa.
It was, Odessa, Texas, not great, but I love Austin.
When you coming back?
I think we're trying to get something down there this summer. That's nice. I love that city. Like Nashville a lot, but St. Louis is probably my favorite place. Omaha, Columbus, Ohio, great place, man.
Really,
great place. Yeah. Columbus, Ohio is awesome.
That's great. Well, cool. Okay. Well, it is 9:30. Greg, it's been great having you on. The time flew. Do you have anything before? Promote everything. Promote anything. Jif, doesn't matter.
Well, Jif's a good brand, guys.
It really is.
It's the number one choice of choosy moms.
It is. And choosy moms. Right. JD, choosy moms. Not all moms. Let's say you're a mom who drinks in the afternoon and goes to the casino and forgets to pick up your kid from school. If that's the case, by all means, buy Peter Pan. That's a better product for you. That's
Skippy.
No, I love this podcast. I love you guys. I listen every episode. It's an honor to be on here. I hope I didn't slow things down, but I will. This special is a big deal for me. I think it's my best work. It's on YouTube. It's called The Salesman. You just go to YouTube and type in Greg Warren, The Salesman. It's on Nate Bargatze's YouTube channel, who's a great comedian, and it's really doing well. But if all the wrestling people jumped in and watched it, I'd be very grateful. Let's just say that. I'm grateful anyways. Yeah. Wrestlers have supported me all throughout my career.
Yeah, it's very funny. Is there somewhere they can go and check out your tour dates? Do you have a
Yeah, GregWarrenComedy.com. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, check that out. Try to find Greg on tour. Hopefully you get to Austin soon. Hopefully we're in town for it. Greg, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, awesome, you guys. Thanks a lot for having me on. It's an honor.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, everyone, we will be back. I mentioned Wednesday.
That's right.
Not Thursday. What is this music? Oh my gosh. This feels like the opening for Greg's comedy special on Comedy Central. You get a little something jazzy, a little funky in there. Ben, thank you. Thanks to everyone.
See you Wednesday.
We will be back on Wednesday. Have a great week. See you then. Bye. That's the normal.